Hello and welcome to the second week of the Sydney Shawl call. So last week we started with the honeycomb section. We learned how to increase and decrease, how to work the basic stitches, and we finished strong on row number 30 with the row of Tunisian simple stitch. So this week, in week number 2, we will cover color work. So we will step up our skills from last week of the basic stitches. So for my sample, I'm going to call the red color color A, and then I'm bringing in color B, which is poppy field. So this week we will work four rows of stranded color work, followed by 3 rows of simpler color work, where we'll be changing colors on forward and return pass. Again, both of these are new techniques that we haven't covered before, so we are going to go through it slowly, step by step. If you are unsure about anything, please rewatch the video tutorial. So without further ado, let's dive in. Starting with row number 31, and as before, we maintain the increases on the inner side of our shawl. So every 3 rows 2 increases, and every 4th row there will be 3 increases and 1 decrease on the return pass. So the instructions for row number 31 state that we should work 1 Tunisian knit stitch followed by an increase twice in color A. So we're starting with color A, and this will be the same pattern for each section of color work. You will start the increases of each color work in the working yarn. So the working yarn for me is A. So let's work 1 Tunisian knit, increase, Tunisian knit, and increase. This is followed by a Tunisian knit stitch in A. So we will work 1 Tunisian knit stitch in A, and now we are going to start our row pattern repeat, which is 2 Tunisian stitches in B followed by 2 Tunisian stitches in A all the way to last 3 stitches. So we are going to be adding our color B. So what I like to do, I like to make a loop or with the color that I'm going to change into. You can also start with a slip knot, it's up to you. This is I like to start just with a loop because then it is easy to adjust the size of the stitch in comparison to all the other stitches. So we are going to go into the next stitch as for Tunisian knit stitch. Once we are at the back of our work with the hook, I then place the loop on my hook and pull through. Okay, and this counts as the first Tunisian knit stitch in my color B. So I'm going to go into the next Tunisian knit stitch, so the next stitch working Tunisian knit stitch, pull up a loop. I'll then take the color A from the back and I cross over the stitches that we just worked. We cross over so that we don't have gaps where we change colors. If you don't cross over, then you will have visible gaps in your work. So that's why when we change colors, and this will be the same for forward and return pass, we always need to cross over. So we then work 2 Tunisian knit stitches in color A. We let go of the strand of yarn in color A, pick up color B, again cross over the stitches, work 2 Tunisian knit stitches in color B, then again we swap our colors, and we repeat this all the way up to the last 3 stitches, so I will meet you at the end of the row when we have last 3 stitches. End of my row, I've got 1, 2, 3 stitches left, including the end stitch. So the instructions for row number 31 say that we should now do 2 Tunisian knit stitches in B and the last stitch is in A. So I'm going to finish the row with 2 Tunisian knit stitches in B, and the very last stitch is in A. When we work return pass, we always change color when the second stitch from the left is into alternating color. So in this case, I will need to change for yarn over pull through 2 into B, because my second stitch from left is in yellow while the working yarn is in red. So I need to let the red go. I pick up my color B, I'll yarn over pull through 2, so that's our decrease. I've got the second stitch from left in yellow, so I'll keep the yellow for the next yarn over pull through 2. Now the second stitch from left is in red, so I need to let go of my color B. I'll pick up color A, yarn over pull through 2 twice. My second stitch from left is in yellow, so I'll need to change my colors after every 2 stitches. So after every 2 yarn over pull through 2, I'm changing my colors, and we repeat this all the way to the beginning of a row. So that the corresponding chains that we create on the return pass match the colors on the forward pass. If you forget to change colors after every 2 stitches, then as you can see, if I now yarn over and pull through 2 in red, although I was meant to work in yellow, and I work another stitch in yellow, you can actually see that the return pass behind the first stitch is in red, so while it's meant to be in yellow. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this back, pick up this stitch, and I'm going to change the colors as they should be. And as you can see now, the colors match the stitches. So we are now getting to the beginning of the row. The remainder of our stitches is in red, so I will yarn over, pull through 2 in red, all the way. 32, we start with 2 increases. So work Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase. Now what we are trying to achieve is to have every 2 stitches in different color. So if we count from the back, this would be 2 stitches in red. So the first stitch need to be in yellow. So we'll bring the yellow forward, again crossing over the red. So as you can see, I'm not working with the color directly like so. I'm crossing over with the red color. We now work the first stitch in B, followed by 2 stitches in A, 2 Tunisian knit stitches in A, again swapping for B, and we maintain this pattern all the way to the end of the row, to the last 4 stitches. And now at the end of forward pass for row number 32, we've got last 4 stitches left, and we will work 2 Tunisian knit stitches in A, 1 Tunisian knit stitch in B, and the very last stitch, the end stitch, will be worked in A. And again, we maintained the same rhythm of changing colors on the return pass as per the forward pass. So because the second stitch from the end or from the left side is in yellow or color B, for me it's yellow, for you would be color B. If you are using any other yarn, you would yarn over and pull through to with your color B, and then change to color A and worked 2 stitches off in color A and back to color B. You'll repeat this all the way to the end of the return pass, where you get to the beginning of the row, and the remainder of the stitches, the last 5 stitches, will be worked in A. Number 33, we'll have a triple increase. So we start with Tunisian knit stitch and increase, Tunisian knit stitch and increase, Tunisian knit stitch and then increase. So that's 3 increases. We then work the next 2 stitches in color B, next 2 stitches in color A, and we repeat the alternating the colors after every 2 stitches as per the other 2 rows all the way to the end of the row. and we work the end stitch in color A. And as per the row 31 and 32, we will work the return pass with decrease, the yarn over pull through 2, yarn over pull through 2, changing to color B every 2 stitches. And after that, we change back to color A after 2 stitches. We will work 2 increases at the beginning, so we will work Tunisian knit stitch and increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase. We then work 2 Tunisian knit stitches in B, one and two, 2 Tunisian knit stitches in A, we will then go back to Tunisian knit stitches in B, two Tunisian knit stitches in A, and we repeat this all the way. I'm now at the end of forward pass of row number 34, so I'm on last 2 stitches. So I will work 1 Tunisian knit stitch in A and edge stitch or end stitch in A, yarn over pull through 2 for the first stitch of the return pass for my decrease, and then I will alternate 2 stitches in B, 2 stitches in A for the rest of my return pass up to the section at the beginning where I've got 5 stitches in A, and this will be worked off in rows number 31 to row number 34 in stranded color work, where we changed colors after every 2 stitches. We alternated color A with color B. Now we are going to go on to the second part of the color work, which is simpler color work. We will again start our rows with increases. So for row number 35, we will continue working with A. So the difference between the stranded color work and the simple color work is that we now will be working stitches on the forward pass in one color, and the return pass will be in a different color, and it gives it a beautiful effect. So what we need to do, we need to start with color A. So we'll work 2 increases at the beginning, Tunisian knit stitch and then increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase. And we also learn a new stitch, which will be Tunisian slanted stitch. So after we worked 2 increases, we will start with Tunisian simple stitch in the next stitch, and now Tunisian slanted. So Tunisian slanted is worked from left to right rather than right to left like Tunisian simple stitch. So we will insert the hook from right to left like so, yarn over and pull up a loop. And what this does, this leans the vertical bar of the stitch on the right side. So this will be kind of right leaning stitches, and together it will give this beautiful effect. So again, we will continue with Tunisian simple and slanted stitch. It takes a bit of practice to master the slanted stitches. So again, Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitch, Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitch, and we will repeat this pattern all the way to the end of the row, to the last stitch. I'm now at the end of my row, so I've got one more repeat to work of Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitch. I will now work the end stitch, and I will add a color B. So if I look at the back of my work, I see that the color B is at the beginning of the row, so I need to cut the yarn to be able to rejoin it at the end of the forward pass, or at the beginning of the return pass. And again, I prefer to just add it as a loop rather than a loop with a slip knot. So I will place the loop on the hook and pull through 2. What I like to do, I also like to take the yarn and wrap it around color A, and you continue return pass in color B. Row number 36 in B, so we will work 2 increases with Tunisian knit stitches, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase. And we will now start with Tunisian slanted stitch. We then work Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted, which is the same pattern as in the row 35, and we will work this up to the very last stitch. I'm now at the end of my forward pass, so I will do one more repeat of Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitch. So we are working in color B, and the very last end stitch. I will now drop color B and I will go back to color A. And I will work the return pass for row number 36 in color A. For row number 37, which is our last row of the first colourwork section, we start this row with 3 increases. We are continuing working in color A. So this was the color of the return pass row before, which was row number 36. We'll work Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase. We will then continue in the same stitch pattern. So we will start with Tunisian slanted stitch, work Tunisian simple, Tunisian slanted, Tunisian simple, Tunisian slanted. We repeat this all the way to the end of the forward pass, to the very last stitch. I'm now on my last repeat of Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitch. So this is the end of forward pass of row number 37. I only have the edge end stitch to do. We will then drop A, we will pick up color B and work the whole return pass in color B. And this brings the color B to the beginning of the next row, row number 38. And for row number 38, we repeat row number 30. You will work 2 increases at the beginning and then Tunisian simple stitch all the way to last stitch, and you will work the end stitch.